An icebreaker ship drifted forward like a ghost, but the pilot house was completely empty. Deep in the ship's hold, a crew member kept looking over his shoulder as if something terrifying lurked behind him. Suddenly, the sound of welding echoed through the corridor. When he peered around the corner, a man was welding an iron door shut. The moment the man sensed someone watching, he spun around. The crew member bolted in terror, with the man in hot pursuit. After they left, bone-chilling sounds emerged from behind the sealed door. Meanwhile, the Coast Guard received a report that an icebreaker had run aground. The Maritime Authority had sent multiple signals with no response. This meant Sarah and her partner Jonas had just 3 hours before the storm hit to uncover the truth. When they boarded the icebreaker, the deck was deserted. The two split up to search, and Sarah discovered bloodstains on the stair railing. Following the trail, she found a man tied to a pipe. The man's name was Peter. His face was blue, and he was barely breathing. Fortunately, with timely treatment, he gradually regained consciousness. Deep in the ship's hold, Sarah heard sounds. But when she approached the iron door, she found it had been welded shut. Luckily, Sarah grabbed an angle grinder and cut through the welds. The moment the door opened, a flare gun was aimed right at her. The man holding it kept muttering about escaping this damned ship. That's when Captain Ola appeared, telling Sarah that 3 more crew members were missing. Sarah searched everywhere and found a crew member named Bernie. When discovered, there was a pool of blood next to his head, and he appeared dead. But the moment he suddenly woke up, Sarah nearly jumped out of her skin. He said someone had knocked him unconscious with a heavy blow. Just as Sarah was reporting the situation to her partner, the radio crackled with news that their motorboat was gone. The escaped crew member Sturman had stolen their only means of escape. Now everyone was trapped on this icebreaker. Night fell and the harsh weather cut off all communications. To activate the emergency beacon, Sarah accompanied Bernie to the lower hold, only to discover the equipment had been deliberately sabotaged. Bernie revealed the truth. It was the mechanic Miller who had destroyed it. 2 days ago, Miller had gone completely insane. He'd been running around with an axe, chopping at everything. Bernie was the one Miller had knocked out. The icebreaker running aground was also Miller's doing. Just then, Jonas's terrified screams suddenly burst through the radio. Sarah rushed onto the ice to see the bare-chested Miller shoving Jonas into an ice hole. When Miller spotted Sarah, he fled immediately. Sarah desperately tried to pull her partner up, but after a few moments, Jonas suddenly went rigid, released his grip, and sank into the icy seawater. Sarah dove into the ocean without hesitation to search for him, but in the murky water, she couldn't see anything. Suddenly, she heard a strange sound, like some kind of calling. When she tried to surface, the opening above had mysteriously vanished. In desperation, she pounded against the ice until she couldn't breathe and her consciousness began to fade. At the last moment, she clearly saw the opening right above her head. When Bernie and his companion pulled Sarah out, she saw her deceased father while unconscious. Meanwhile, Miller returned to the ship and raised his axe, hacking away at the electrical panel like a madman. Sarah woke from her nightmare, and through the door, Crack saw a figure standing in the hallway. When she opened the door, standing before her was Jonas, who should have been dead in the ice hole.